No. Okay, try one more time. Can you introduce yourself? What's your name? How old are you? And what you are doing now?
Hi, my name is Isaiah. I'm 20 years old this year and I'm currently serving my second year in national service.
Awesome. So, how was your fitness before you went to national service?
Um, Before national service, I could only do a maximum of 5 push-ups and 5 sit-ups in my physical fitness, and my run timing was in my 2.4 kilometer run was 18 minutes in my JC2 IPPT. So that was my fitness level was pretty much very unfit, and I really couldn't keep up with the high levels of physical fitness that national service actually uh, has and that I have to endure through. So I would say I was quite unfit before I enlisted into national service, as I was more of a music and a choir type of person, and I preferred rather to stay indoors um, to do musical stuff like to play piano and to sing rather than to go out to engage in outdoor activities like running and playing sports. So I'll say my physical fitness was very low and I was pretty unfit before I enlisted.
Okay, you can relax a bit. You don't have to treat it like oral exam. Okay, okay. Yeah, but what was your lifestyle like before going in, or lifestyle in JC like?
Uh, like I previously mentioned, I was in the choir for many years, and I really enjoy singing and playing musical instruments like the piano. So my lifestyle in JC was pretty much I would just go to school to study and to attend lessons, and after school I would usually come home and I would just sit on the piano and do covers of songs by different artists, and also learn to arrange new songs that even my friends wrote as well. So I was a very musical and very indoor person, and I didn't like to go out of the house or out of anywhere that's not indoors. So I would say that my lifestyle was mainly centered around the uh, concept of music, and also in terms of performance and composition as well.
So you would say you were more focused on like um, school stuff rather than your fitness at the time.
Yes, I would say that because I didn't have the time, and also I didn't have the mindset to think about going out for a run or going out to do something more active. I rather prefer more a sedentary lifestyle, just to stay at home and to watch musicals, watch movies, watch films, and gain ideas and inspirations for compositions and collaborations with my other friends as well.
Do you work out often back then?
No, I actually didn't work out at all apart from running and playing some sports during PE. And yeah, and as weekends I was usually mainly busy with revising for my A levels in JC. And even after A levels, I was mainly focusing more on expanding my musical repertoire and genre, and focusing more on a new musical genre which I actually inherited, which I actually liked over the years, which was musicals. So uh, it was mainly just music that was centered around. My lifestyle was centered around music, so I really did not work out often, even after JC. From after JC to before I enlisted.
Okay. Let's see. So, what was your mindset towards working out before going to national service?
My mindset was just I was pretty lazy, and I didn't feel like there was a need to work out, as I had the mindset that national service will definitely make me fitter, so might as well just enlist and train in there. But at the same, yeah, so I was mainly not really interested in anything active, anything like exercise, anything that is sports, anything that requires me to go step out of my house or out of my comfort zone to actually go out and explore the world, to go for a run with friends or play sports like basketball or football. So my concept of working out before I enlisted was really non-existent actually, if you could ask me.
Um, do you do any preparations before you went into national service?
Yes, I actually did just 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior into enlisting. So I actually went for a runs with my friend, like at the park that's near my block. And but it was mainly a very slow and steady run. So it was just there to make sure I build my stamina. So at least to improve my stamina a little from the 18 minutes which I mentioned, which I got in IPPT in JC. So I ran at least twice a week, if I remember correctly, before I enlisted with my friend at the park connector near my house. So yeah, for the running portion, I managed to build up a bit of my stamina, and when I timed my 2.4 before I enlisted, it was 16 minutes. It was still not a good, decent timing, but there was a slight improvement in my running and my stamina. But for my core and my strength wise and strength based activities like push ups and sit ups, I didn't really actually train much, as I didn't have the motivation and encouragement by my friends to train and to build up in terms of the push ups and sit ups. So, mainly for core and strength based trainings, I didn't really make an effort to train more and to actually sieve out the time for me to train. But I ran for slow runs and long distance runs as well. It helped to build up my endurance and my stamina a little, at least 3 weeks before I enlisted.
Okay. Would you say you struggle with it? If so, how?
I would say it was definitely a struggle at first because trying to keep up with the pace and with the distance of running, and being a civilian still then, and not knowing exactly what the standards of national servicemen physical training is in camp. So I would say it was a personal struggle as I had to set the target by myself, and I was pretty much unsure as to whether the target I set was realistic. So it was a struggle at first because firstly it was a target which I had to set myself, and I wasn't really sure whether I had set the target correctly, and prior to enlisting I would not know whether my target that I set was actually the standards that the Singapore Army or the national servicemen actually have to meet. So that was the first struggle which I had. And secondly, it was a struggle in terms of my mentality as well, because like I mentioned before, I was usually more cooped up at home, doing more home-based stuff and doing more activities which are centered indoors in the air-conditioned places like composing and performing. So having a change in the environment to outdoor activities like running, I felt that it was a personal struggle as well, because I had to ensure that I had to step out of the house. I have to make sure that I set the goal that I have to run at least twice a week to keep up my stamina. So it was a struggle, as sometimes I would usually be pretty much very lazy to run outside when I could have spent the time to actually make and create more music and more songs for as a form of like a hobby and to do the things I enjoy. So secondly was the mental part of having the mindset to actually do physical training before I enlist in a civilian context.
So, how did you overcome that mindset?
So one way of how I overcome the mentality aspect was that I actually asked a few friends whether they want to run together with me, and I have a few friends who were also going to enlist in about a month's time. So I asked them whether we want to run together, and they said yes, and they actually willingly agreed, and they actually said that they also had the same personal struggles as me. They are mainly more leading a sedentary lifestyle, playing mobile games, playing online games at home, and more being cooped up at home. So they also shared that their struggles. So that also sort of encouraged me as well, because I felt that there were people who went through similar situations and similar scenarios and went through the same JC path as me, and who actually also who are not really very active in terms of physical fitness. So one way of how I actually overcame that this mental obstacle was that I went to run with a group of friends which I can actually click with and which I can actually interact with and bond with, and we will usually go for runs, and after that we would actually just go to have a meal together and discuss things that we like music or musical ideas. So it was mainly sort of like a striking a balance between physical training, going for runs, and to build up for our national service, and and our hobbies and our interests. So it was more of like having a balance. So that sort of encouraged me as well. So as I could strike a balance between these two with my very close friends, which I have known since secondary school.
So after enlisting, what was your first few physical training sessions like?
So prior to after I enlisted, the first 2 weeks we actually mainly did endurance runs and distance interval training. So endurance run would be, they would give you a set timing to run for. For example, you just run as fast as you want for 30 minutes. So this actually builds up our endurance and also makes us continue running, and also helps to build up our stamina as well. At the same time, at the same time with endurance run, we also had another run training which is called distance interval. So distance interval, unlike endurance runs, focuses more on the distance. So they will give you a set distance, like you have to hit 1 kilometer within 5 minutes or within 6 minutes. So this trains more of our speed and our agility as well. So these were the first few physical trainings I had after I enlisted for the first month or so. In terms of the physical and strength based activities, we had strength trainings where we had to lift weights and dumbbells, and we had this thing called the metabolic circuit, which sort of actually integrates the two different aspects of the strength based trainings and the run and the speed and agility. So this circuit actually, we have to complete 8 different stations, which consists of different activities like burpees, push-ups, jumping jacks, and we have to also have activities like shuttle run. So this actually trains our speed, agility, and our strength as well. So these were the physical trainings which I actually had when I enlisted, and which I am still doing now as a second year NS serviceman, when doing our pockets of time when we are in camp as well.
Okay. So what was it like for you, someone who's fresh and going in with like no idea what's going on? How did it affect you mentally and physically?
For the first few trainings, physically it affected me a lot because I actually realized that the goals and the targets I set when doing my free morning runs as a civilian before I enlisted was very different from the standards that they actually have and they actually enforce in national service. So it affected me quite a lot physically because I had to run further distances and run at a faster speed. So it was actually pretty intense. It was pretty challenging and tough for me at first, fresh into national service, as prior to that I didn't take part in any high intense and high speed activities like running for 1 kilometer for 5 minutes. So it affected me physically, and of course it took a toll on my mental health as well, as there were a few moments where I really couldn't keep up with the training, even though it was the first few build up trainings in basic military training center. So it was the first few weeks of build up training, and I actually found that I couldn't actually keep up mentally as well, because there were many times which I wanted to give up on the run and wanted to just sit out of the training and activities. So it affected me mentally, but eventually I managed to overcome it because my fellow national service buddies who also ran together with me, and they helped me to overcome this mental obstacle as well, as they said that let's do this together and let's train hard and train well together, so that these 2 years will be memorable for us, and this will be one of the first few memories which you actually will have in national service, the first few months, about how you were, especially for me, who was more of a physically unfit person, to going to NS and having the change in the physical fitness and the mental stamina as well.
Okay. How did national service change you in terms of, you know, physically and like mentally, your willpower and stuff?
Um, I feel that the most important aspect and the most important moral value that NS has instilled in me would be the value of perseverance and determination, as there were many moments where I wanted to give up, from simple trainings like a run to very high intense and high key activities like fighting in the jungle and doing runs for live shoots, live firing and live shoot in the live ammunition and live shooting range. So I think one thing that NS had taught me was to break the mental barrier of, like, when thinking of me going to give up, just think of the many friends that I have around me who are going through the same hardships and same challenges as me, and also at the same time seeing how I have grown from not being able to run at all, running 18 minutes in JC, to now running, let's say, even the 14 minutes. I will actually try to break the mental barrier that I would never want to give up, even though the build-up training has been getting even harder over the years and months of my national service. So I think one way in which what NS has taught me was to never give up in any circumstance. So that was I feel the most important factor and aspect that NS had impacted my life in the mental aspect. For physical aspect, it made me be more fit. I can run further and run faster, and I can have do more push-ups and sit-ups to actually train more and become more physically fit, so that I do not fall sick easily.
Okay. What are some times where you felt like you wanted to give up, and how did you overcome that?
Actually, one key moment which I really wanted to give up was at the start of my second year of NS, where we actually went overseas to Brunei, the Brunei jungle, to train, as we did all the build-up trainings for the past 2-3 months, but the training in Brunei and the terrain in Brunei was really very different and was really very challenging. So at once I almost wanted to give up on the training in Brunei, as we had to hike up hills with 20 kg of load on our back. So it was a very tough and challenging times, and that was the peak of my mental barrier, and I really wanted to just give up there and just sit out of the training. But I managed to overcome it because my friends were there to encourage me, to guide me, and to actually walk with me. And they also told me that since I've already done all the build-up training, I've already been in national service for about a year already then, and this was really the peak and the most memorable moments which I will actually cherish for the rest of my life after I return from Brunei and after my national service, which is going to be in a couple of months' time. So I actually managed to overcome the mental barrier and actually didn't give up. But that was the moments which I felt I really wanted to give up, and I didn't really. There was times where I actually sat down and rest, just take a moment to reflect, and really wanted to felt really sad and a pain in my heart that I really wanted to fall out and really not want to continue with the training. So that was really the most memorable aspect in my national service, was the overseas training which we had in Brunei.
Okay. What were some milestones that you hit that made you proud?
One significant milestone would be the passing out parade, which was held last June, which actually signifies that I graduated from basic military training. So it was the first 2 months in this island of Pulau Tekong. So and it was the basic military training. One important, was a very proud moment in my lifetime, as I felt that I really grown these 2 months learning the basic soldiering fundamentals and the basic soldiering skills. So it was a memorable moment, as I could see my basic military training center friends for the last time before we actually passed out of Pulau Tekong, I actually went our separate ways, some to become commanders and some to remain as troops. So that was one major milestone in my national service that which I was proud of. I would have one more, which was actually the overseas jungle training. Yeah, and that actually was the proudest achievement which I can ever ask for. As I mentioned, I really wanted to give up, but in the end, I pushed through and I really completed the training. And we actually had this very, very, very proud picture taken at the top of the majestic mountain in Brunei. So which actually showed that all of us actually pushed through the training and we actually reached the top of the mountain. So it was a really proud moment that was a significant milestone in my national service. And of course, looking forward to the upcoming one, which will be next year in January, which will be my pass out parade from NS itself, finishing my 2 years of NS cycle.
Okay. Let me rephrase that question. What were some physical milestones you hit that made you proud, such as your this running time or maybe this X number of push-ups?
Okay. One physical milestone which I was really proud of is that I actually managed to achieve an IPPT silver in July last year. I actually managed to clock a run timing of 11 minutes and 30 seconds, which was the fastest run timing I actually achieved last year. Like just shortly after posting out of basic military training center and into the new unit which I'm in now. So was the IPPT silver, having a run timing of 11 minutes 30 seconds, which really actually showed me that my training in national service has actually paid off, and all the trainings that the national service actually planned was actually put into good use. And my push-ups and sit-ups had also improved from push-ups. Last time I could only do a maximum of 10, like I mentioned previously, but after 6 months of intense training, I actually managed to clock 40 push-ups and 45 sit-ups, which actually gave me an IPPT point of 80, which was silver. So that was a physical milestone which I was really proud of.
Okay. So how did national service change your mindset towards fitness as a whole?
National service actually made me feel that fitness is actually part and parcel of our everyday lives, and every one of us actually needs to run to actually keep fit and healthy, whether in the military or out of the military. So I feel that now my mindset towards physical fitness is that it's just part and parcel of my life. So during my free time, I will just maybe go for a short run of 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Actually helps to actually improve my physical fitness, or just I would see physical fitness now more of a leisure thing compared to a chore, or something which I am forced to do, or like when people tell me to do it, then I'll do it, or when people don't tell me to do it, I will just be okay, I'll sweep it under the rug and be lazy and not do it. So I think the whole mindset of improving our physical fitness was changed from more of like a chore and a thing that like more of like homework like assigned to you, whereas now I feel it's more of like a leisure activity, as I could actually do it in my leisure time, and I actually willingly want to improve my physical fitness to actually go for runs and go for strength training to actually improve my core muscles. So yeah, so fitness, the mindset of fitness as a whole has changed from being a chore to being a leisure thing to do in any pockets of free time that I actually have now, even out of camp or even in camp at night. If I have free time, I will usually go for runs as well for a quick 20 minutes.
Okay. So how would you say your routine or daily life has changed since going into NS?
My routine or daily life
Outside of national service,
hasn't really changed. I still do the stuff and the activities I enjoy out of national service. Like weekends, I'm usually at home doing musical covers, playing the piano, playing musical songs, playing classical music, and still composing and arranging with either by myself or with my fellow friends. But I think my lifestyle outside of military would be of like I'm technically more the aspect of character building, character development, and moral values actually changed uh, due to national service. Because I actually learned to be more compassionate and caring towards others. And I learned to reach out to people if they need help, and I also learned to be more independent, learn to do things myself instead of asking other people for help whenever they need. Whenever I need help, I will usually national service trains my quick thinking skills and helps me learn how to figure things out. So, which was more of the character building. As before NS, I was usually in a room just by myself, and I really didn't know how to be independent. I had to rely on my family, my friends, to help me overcome or help me with just simple stuff that I can't figure out. But now I could do all this simple stuff by myself, and I could be able to find innovative ways to solve problems as well. So that is how national service has actually impacted my daily routine life outside of national service, especially during the weekends when I am at home with my family and my friends.
Okay. Um, what are some funny stories or anecdotes that happened during your physical training sessions in national service?
To be honest, I really can't think of any, but it was just me and my national service buddies we are just talking about how me being a skinny person at the start of national service before we enlist, now being actually built more like being able to can actually see that I actually improved a lot in my physical fitness, that I can actually see the change, that I am actually more physically fit and more physically active, and yeah, so there aren't any anecdotes which I actually recall in terms of the physical fitness part of national service, but it was mainly just me and my friends just talking, interacting with each other, and just saying that, oh, you have improved in your physical fitness, like, oh, you actually look more decent looking now. And actually, yeah, they said that last time I looked more malnourished, like a prisoner of war in like World War II, but now I actually looked more like still small size, but I actually can see that I actually improved in the physical fitness as I build more muscles, and I can actually do more push-ups and sit-ups, just to name a few strength training activities, and I can actually run further as well.
Okay. How has then being fitter and physically appearing fitter changed your confidence or mindset?
I think being physically fitter actually trains my confidence as well. Like because when we go for military operations in my national service, we have to walk long distances, and we have to carry heavy load. And sometimes just knowing that you actually build more muscles, or you have become more physically fit in terms of the physical training that you actually do in camp, actually shapes my confidence out of camp and in the jungle as well, because I will be able to help my section mates to carry their heavy load if they are feeling tired. So we just help each other. So me knowing that I am actually physically fitter, it gives me the confidence that I am able to actually first help my section mates along out in the field, and secondly complete every single mission, and actually secure any objectives, and actually meet any targets or goals that they actually set for us. Because in national service, before missions there will always be a operation plan, and there will always be a target setting that we actually have to go through, where we were actually told of what targets we actually have to meet. So me being physically fit actually gives me the confidence that I will be able to meet such targets and actually achieve such goals out in the field during mission operations as well.
Okay. Let's see. So how did your mindset towards national service change for you as time passed?
My mindset
How do
was
you sorry, so how do you feel towards national service at the start and then now?
at the start I just felt that like why national service was important, why must I waste my 2 years of my life when I could have been just spending my 2 years writing. I could have actually released like 5 albums, 5 EPs, or like one entire composed work in the span of 2 years, if not for NS. So that was the mentality I felt before I enlisted after I finished JC. Like, why is there a need for national service, and why are people actually who are actually having the same like challenges and difficulties, or leading the same lifestyle as me, more sedentary, more indoor like style, more like sedentary lifestyle, more chilling at home. Why do we have to serve? And why is there a need for us to serve national service? So that was the mentality that I had. Over the years, I find that national service can just impact a lot of people. Like, actually, even if you are not physically fit, not physically active in your civilian life, national service would actually make you fitter, yes, and also mainly national service helps to instill in you better moral values and develops you in character as being a better person, as being a good person, having good moral and ethical values.
Okay. So what kept you going on days when it felt really tough during training?
I would say, like I mentioned, just my fellow friends and buddies who actually go through the training with me, and I know that we just suffer together, we enjoy together, and we all know that this training, no matter how tough it is temporary. It's like we go through just 3 days, and then after that we get to enjoy our civilian lifestyle when we book out. Or like in Brunei it was 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks we can enjoy whatever we want for another 2 weeks, where they actually gave us the perks of having block leave where I can go overseas and enjoy. So we just had to endure through the temporary pain. So it was mainly about the time factor, which actually sort of pushed me. And so my friends would just tell me, have to say that, Isaiah, like, actually it's just these 2 days, and actually the next day, the third day, you are actually back at home, you can do what you want to do. And also they encourage me of like, whenever I feel like giving up, even now when I feel like giving up, they say, Isaiah, you have actually gone through Brunei, like you wanted to give up then, you didn't even give up at the point, so why are you giving up on a smaller base training in Singapore, or like just a simple run? Why would you want to give up? So this was like the mentality of like what actually encouraged me to actually do better, or just not don't there's actually I don't really feel that necessary for me to excel beyond, but it's just mainly just to go with the flow and stay with the training and participate and actually give it your best and just not give up until the very end, because the pain is temporary, the suffering is temporary, it would eventually end.
So what are some things you'd like to share to out of shape folks who are getting ready for NS or want to start getting into shape?
I would just say that NS will actually shape and transform you, and for out of shape guys who are enlisting soon or in the years to come, I would say start slow, and cherish all the memories you have over these 2 years, because it really will stay with you. You will really enjoy it, national service, even though you are completely unfit or you lead like a sedentary lifestyle like me. But national service would actually really shape and transform you as a person, both physically, in terms of your physical build, and your character development and your mental well-being as well. You would actually make a lot of friends, and these are the friends which you will never forget in your life as a person, like as a boy living in this world. That these 2 years of NS will be memorable and will be enjoyable if you hang out with the right people, you do what is right, and you just encourage each other, and don't let the pain actually like bite you, or don't let the fear actually grip onto you. So just overcome and all challenges, and yeah, just know that you have your fellow buddies by your side, and you have your family who will actually be actively supporting you as well in the behind the scenes, and you may not actually see it, but you will actually see it by the time you actually reach the end of your national service. You will actually see it when as time passes, and you actually see how you grow as a person over these 2 years. Yeah, you actually feel that you are out of shape before you enlisted, but after 2 years or after even just the basic military training for 2 months, you actually feel that you are proud to actually serve national service.
How about some tips you'd like to give to people who just want to start getting into shape?
Just start on, I would say continue. I would say continue to work hard, continue to train so that you can get more into shape, and maybe this would be a head start for you as you start your national service, because you started off with a bit of activities and which actually start to get you into shape for national service. So I would say continue to work towards the goal of getting into shape and improving yourself both physically and mentally.
So now, are you happy with how you have developed physically and mentally right now? Is
Yes,
there anything you'd like to change in the future?
I would say that I'm proud of what I've achieved thus far for the past 1.5 years, with just a few more months left before I get discharged from national service. But I would say I am actually proud of what I've achieved both physically and mentally in this NS journey of 2 years, or like 1.5 years thus far.
Um, are there any training routines you recommend people go for before going into national service?
Yeah, actually, one training routine which I come up with would be, if for those that actually want to get into shape and actually are going to national service, I recommend you just go for a run twice a week. So what I recommend would be, maybe if you're weak, maybe just go for a run on Wednesday and Fridays, and Tuesday and Thursday do some strength related activities like push-ups, sit-ups, burpees. Just a short amount of time, maybe 30 minutes. And for the run, maybe one day you focus on distance running, just focus on the distance, you can worry less about the time, and another day you train your speed and agility by focusing on the time. And for strength related activities, just keep doing push-ups and sit-ups more, lifting weights, or maybe even go for activities which I actually go for now would be bouldering, climbing. These rock climbing, bouldering actually also trains your strength. Like if you are not a gym person like me, I personally don't like to go to the gym. I'll just switch on the aircon in my room, just do a few push-ups and sit-ups. Or I actually have a group of close friends which I go bouldering with, which I just actually started a few weeks back. I actually want to continue to go bouldering with them. Maybe just go bouldering once a month, twice a month. It would actually help also in training your core and your strength, and yeah, your stamina in terms of the your body muscular build-up.
What would you say to people who want to give up?
I would say, don't give up. Like if you actually give up, you have really lost the battle. But if you actually don't give up, you actually see the rewards that you actually have, and you are actually waiting for you, right? It's way more than you can ever imagine, and that you will be actually be proud that you did not give up in in your physical training, or even when you enlist in your day-to-day life. So I would say that just try your best to persevere, have the mindset, have like the determination to push through, because like I mentioned, whatever pain and suffering that you have in national service is temporary. Like it will actually be gone in a few days, in a few weeks, and NS is just 2 years of your life. Like 2 years in the span of, like, you are for NS people who are about to enlist, it's 2 years in the span of like their 18 years of life, 19 years of life that they have been living. So I would say that do not give up, cherish the memories, because once you give up, you really can't really see the true rewards, or like the true incentives that you actually, and you will not have a story to tell, and you will not have any achievements which you will be proud of if you give up, because if you give up, that's the end already. You have already lost the battle, you have already lost the fight. Like you did not even try to actually overcome the fight. And most often, the fight is usually not that hard to overcome if you go in with the right mindset, the right mentality, and with a group of people which you know and you trust that can endure it with you. And I think one of the ways to not give up is to find people who have similar interests as you, who are going through the um, same difficulties, same obstacles, same challenges as you. And you don't have to have a lot of friends. You just have to have one or two people who have the similar hobbies or similar interests as you, going through the same obstacles. It's more than enough for you to actually break your mental barrier to not give up. Yeah, so I would say just don't give up. Try your best.
Okay, thank you. What would you say to your past self before the self that was unfit before enlisting?
I mean, I would say that um, you have improved a lot, you have grown a lot, and maybe I would say maybe you could have exercised more and train up your physical fitness so that you don't have to suffer the you don't have to suffer more in basic military training than others who have actually trained and actually kept themselves fit and active before they enlisted. Yeah, so that will be what I would say to my past self.
Okay. Uh, what is your mind's like? What goes through your mind when you are running? What keeps you pushing? What are some
Actually, one thing which I realized that keeps me pushing is music, because I actually do enjoy the music, listening to music, and yeah, if I run, I'll just sing my favorite songs in my head and think of all the musical ideas and concepts which I actually think about in my day-to-day routine outside of NS. So actually, yeah, that's what motivates me when I run. Yeah, just music, because that's my hobby, and that's what actually I is centered around my life all these years was music. So one way which one thing which I think about when I run would be music and songs.
Sorry, give me a sec. So, do your family and friends react to your transformation during national service? If so, how did they react?
My family supported me and say that I have become more fit and I can run further, and yeah, they were just like constantly praising me for my transformation and they say that yeah, they are just proud of me.
So, how did that motivate you?
That motivated me in a way that it sort of pushes me to achieve greater heights, push me to greater heights, and actually it motivated me as it tells me to not give up. Yeah, and all the more so I should not give up, because like what I mentioned, the rewards of you not giving up will be way more than what you actually think.
Do you have photos or videos from your training days? Can we talk about them? About one picture.
Photos or videos? Yeah, I mean I do have some photos of my pass out parade. I do have some photos, but we can talk about them actually. Yeah, I have some photos from my overseas training in Brunei as well, which I can actually share and talk about. It was just photos of us climbing the mountains, hiking up the hills, and going through all the jungle training. Then of course there are photos of significant milestones like passing out parade, the picture which I took in Brunei at the top of the mountain. Yeah, so that was the photos which I actually have, which are actually significant to me, and which actually impacts me a lot, because those are the significant milestones and the trainings that we actually went through. over the period of national service.
Um, do you think fitness is just about strength, or do you think it's something more?
I feel fitness, yes, it's about strength and the agility and the muscular, but I think it also instills values in it. Like you have the discipline, you have the perseverance, you have the growth mindset that you always want to improve yourself in terms of fitness. So mainly it's mainly about the values. It's the heart choices and more of like the physical body choices. It's mainly what you want to do from your heart, whether you really have the mindset to actually improve your strength, because without the proper mindset your body will not be able to function like what your mind and your heart actually wants to do. So I feel fitness really comes from your heart, and you have to make hard choices that comes from the mind, and also hard choices which comes from the heart, whether you really want to improve your fitness as well.
Okay. So how did your body feel in the first few weeks when you started working out?
My body felt quite a lot of pain, and I had quite a lot of cramps happening around me. I wasn't really feeling very comfortable, and it took my body some time to react to the changing circumstances, the changing environments which I actually did the physical training in. So it was a big gap which I had to, it was a big change, as a big jump in how my body actually reacts to the intense training activities as well in the national service in my first few weeks after I enlisted.
Okay. So how did your perception of pain or discomfort change throughout training?
Like I mentioned previously, pain and discomfort is temporary, and after you overcome the pain, the rewards and the treasures, or the rewards, like the benefits that you actually see really outweighs the cost and the suffering that you actually go through. So I feel that whatever pain and discomfort that I actually encounter now, it will be worth it. I'd rather go through the pain and discomfort to enjoy greater benefits and rewards that come after. And it's usually temporary and in a really, really short period of time. It's like at most it takes is about a week or 2 weeks. Just have to endure. And I actually quite respect the national service as well, because it actually gives people benefits or like rewards or different perks, right, after they go through an intense training which actually causes them pain and discomfort. So it actually motivates us as well. So I feel the pain and discomfort, it's a temporary thing, and whatever motivates you afterwards really actually motivates us and actually will put a smile on all our faces after the pain. So the pain was just temporary. Like you see pictures of me in the jungle, like us in the jungle, you will actually see the pictures of our frowns and our grimace and our anger, which actually shows our pain and discomfort. But at the same time, you will actually see pictures of us smiling, jumping for joy, enjoying perks like bubble tea, enjoying perks like McDonald's, enjoying perks like Wingstop, are actually given free actually by my unit or by my commander. So I feel that pain and discomfort will be a temporary thing, as the benefits will outweigh the cost.
We have time for a few more questions. After that, I think we can wrap up. I think these questions, I'm just trying to get some documentary worthy lines out of you lah. So how do you feel when you think about who you were before national service?
How do you feel if I would actually... Wait, sorry, could you repeat the...
Project. Just be louder.
I would say that I would have felt that I would have actually like told my past self to actually exercise more and actually be more motivated to actually keep fit and healthy. mainly was the physical fitness, and I will actually say to my past self that, wow, last time you were really not independent. Everything you had to rely on your loved ones, your family, your friends. But now I would say that I'll tell my current self that, wow, you have become more independent. You can do things on your own. People don't have to worry about you, and now you actually worry about people and care for other people more. So now instead of my parents or loved ones or my friends taking the lead in caring for me and me having to rely on them, now I will have to help other people, and other people who actually needs help can actually come to me. So that's the biggest transformative factor which I feel that actually shaped my way of life after enlisting to national service.
So it's not just about fitness and being fit.
Yeah, it's about character development and moral values as well.
Okay. What would you say is harder, getting fit or staying fit?
I would say staying fit would be harder because getting fit, the gap, the improvement from, let me give an anecdote here, okay, or like a sort of like an example. So improving from 18 minutes to a 14-minute run was actually easier. It's actually easier than, so this is the part about getting fit. You from 18 minutes to 14 minutes, your physical fitness actually improved by a lot. People will actually say that, wow, you actually improved a lot. So that's getting fit. Whereas staying fit is maintaining 14 minutes for 1 week. Or I would also actually perceive staying fit as your run timings decrease from 12 minutes to 11 minutes. To me, that's actually harder because staying fit requires a lot of motivation, a lot of effort, way more effort from the individual than actually getting fit. So I would like to quote a statement from one of my officers in my national service. He said that there's this 80-20% theory which when it comes to IPPT or physical fitness or physical training. So 80-20, he said that getting fit is putting in 20% of hard work for 80% of the results, which is you put in just some effort. Of course you have to put in the effort, but you gain 80% of the results. Whereas for staying fit is putting in 80% of the effort just for that small 20% of the improvement. So which is why personally I feel staying fit is harder as well, because staying fit, if you do not put in the 80% of the effort, and any time you you choose to be lazy, or you just don't choose to continue to put in the conscious effort to maintain your fitness, you will actually drop back to you becoming less fit as well. So I feel staying fit is actually more challenging.
Okay. So how do you feel the first time you pulled off one of your goals in terms of fitness? Let's say you hit a certain time that you've been aiming for and you actually hit it.
I actually felt proud of that achievement, and I actually felt that all the trainings have paid off. Yeah, like I mentioned previously, like I was very unfit before I enlisted, so I was actually proud that I actually hit that target, and I actually made tremendous improvement in my fitness. So I would say that it was a proud achievement. I felt really happy and proud about it.
So what are you most proud of now, looking back?
I'm just proud of my physical fitness and also my moral values, character development, character building, and how I able to care and show care and concern for people around me, be it in national service or out of national service, when my daily routines or daily weekends when I am out with my family or with my friends outside of national service. I would say that I'm proud of how I've grown as a person and learned to care more for others around me.
do you think the past you would be proud of where you are now?
Yes, I would say you will be very proud of who the past me will be very proud of the current me in terms of the growth that I have made over the past 1.5 years in national service.
Um, alright, do you have any other final things to say?
No.
Okay. Alright.